there, this is Datila with Rangers of Wrestling being the Wrestling Time Potion. For tonight, I will be reviewing Monday Night Raw. Alright, so, tonight's Raw, actually, it was a fallout of Clash at the Castle, and we got the return of Braun Strowman tonight. So, what ended up happening is that during a Fatal 4-Way number one contenders match, which features the likes of Alpha Academy, Street Profits, Los Lotharios, and New Day, Braun Strowman made his grand return to the WWE, and he took out everybody. Of course, he did his whole train thing where he actually tripped doing the whole train thing. And security tried to come out and try to stop Strowman, but they got knocked down. He sent Otis crashing through the barricade, and he put Angelo Dawkins through the announce table. So, I kind of didn't like this because it was why did you have him debut during the tag match? And why not have him debut through the cage match for the U.S. title? And I guess they want to make him look dominant. So what better way to look dominant than by taking out, yes, the Monster Among Men is back. Yes, he is. By taking out all these tag teams. Now, my thing is, I feel like this Fatal 4-Way number one contenders match, we didn't get a clear winner. So I feel like it was kind of pointless, but I'll tell you why. So I think that the plan is to reunite KO and Sami Zayn and then have them be the ones to face the Usos and eventually take the titles off of them. It seems like that's the route that they're going for. That's why I would feel like this Fatal 4-Way kind of didn't matter. Because look at the teams that were in there. Street Profits, Alpha Academy, Los Lotharios, and the New Day. They're all teams that the Street Profits have faced the Usos. The New Day has faced the Usos. And so if they were going to actually be serious about this number one contenders match, they would have included maybe the likes of the Viking Raiders on there. But because they did it, kind of told you something was up. So I guess that's why they had him debut during this segment. But Monday Night Raw actually kicked off with Edge. So he was cut to promo. If you guys recall, on Saturday at Clash at the Castle, Dominic did turn on not only Edge, but on his dad. And he gave Edge a low blow and then clotheslined his dad. So basically, Edge starts talking about how he's known Dominic his entire life since he was 5. That they used to hang out in catering. Edge said that whenever WWE would be in San Diego, he would be with Dom's family. And he even calmed Dom down when he was super nervous about having his first match in front of a live audience. He felt that Dom was a nephew to him and asked him what was going on and stuff like that. And he says he takes responsibility for Judgment Day, that it was his fault that they exist, and that he tells Dom that he's not looking at him as some kid. He's looking at him like a WWE superstar and calls him out because he wants to beat his ass. So Ray comes out and he tells Edge not to do anything to Dom, that he's gonna apologize to him on Dominic's behalf. And Dom says that he knows that Edge still loves him, but Edge tells Ray that if Dominic is old enough to drink, he's old enough to be held accountable for his actions. So just then, Rhea Ripley comes out and she brings out Dominic. And Dominic has this slick hair all the back, dressed in all black attire. And I don't know, some people were saying that maybe Rhea and Dominic would be Eddie Guerrero in China, him and his mamacita. So it would be interesting. I guess that would be an interesting kind of way to do it, a modern. I thought it was a good opening to the show, but a very Bruce Pritchard book first hour. So as Rhea and Dominic are approaching the ring, Ray tries to stop him, but he can't even look his dad in the eye. And if you notice, the crowd are chanting Eddie's son. They start chanting Eddie's son, and then Ray walks away. This allows for Balor and Priest to attack Edge from behind, and then pretty much Edge just gets beaten up until then Ray comes out to check up on him. Dom looked like he was Damian Priest's son, also a waiter at the 619 restaurant. That's funny. That is funny. And then this is when we get the Fatal 4-Way number 1 contenders match. It's Alpha Academy versus Street Profits versus Los Lotharios versus the New Day. So I did talk about this at the beginning, but I'll just recap a little bit what I said. Braun Strowman actually makes his grand return during this match. Was it necessary for him to debut in this match? Probably not. I feel like he should have debuted during the steel cage match. But I guess if they want to reestablish him as a dominant force, this makes perfect sense. You wipe out everybody. The one spot in the match that I did like was when so Angel Garza and Xavier Woods kick off the match, and Garza attacks in Kofi Kingston. And so Woods lays down for Kofi, but then they get broken up by everybody. Rhea deserves to be the mouthpiece for Dom. Ooh, I like that idea. So it's kind of like their version, I guess you could say, of the finger poke of doom. So now that Braun Strowman is back, I kind of feel sorry for Omos. I mean, Omos hasn't been seen in a while. And compared to Omos, like, Braun Strowman can talk and he knows how to wrestle. So I feel like Omos' days are numbered now. I don't know if you might get released. I don't know. But I personally think Omos is done for now that Braun Strowman is back. But what do you guys think about Braun Strowman being back? And how do you feel about him being back? What do you think is going to happen to Omos now? So then we get Raquel Rodriguez and Aliyah versus Nikki, ASH, and Doudrop. So one of the things that I like about this is that you can tell that at during the match, Raquel struggled to do the Hana bomb on Doudrop. She tried until the very end where she finally hit it. And so she and Aliyah were victorious on this. This match was okay. It wasn't too bad, but it was okay. Terrible way to bring back Strowman. I think they brought Strowman back to get Omos off TV. I mean, Omos has been off TV for a while now. So I think his days are numbered. Then we get a Rey Mysterio segment, and he says he's got not much to say except that he loves his son, trying to tear his family apart, and he said he will never put his hands on his son, and nobody deserves their asses handed to them more than Judgment Day, and he's challenging someone from Judgment Day, which was either going to be Balor or a priest. But I mean, I'm not a parent, but I can't imagine what that must be like. I mean, I know it's kayfabe and stuff, but still, like, as a parent, I would think it'd be hard for you to, like, attack your own child. But then again, if they attack you, maybe, like, who knows? So I can't understand how Rey's feeling. And we get Austin Theory. Yes, Austin Theory. He got his name back at Clash at Castle. He was talking about how things didn't go as planned, and he calls it Crown Jewel, but then he corrects himself and says Clash at Castle. I don't know if that was intentional or if, like, he really butchered on purpose. He was talking about how everybody wanted to see him fall in his cash-in. And I think a lot of people do want to see him fail. And, I mean, he didn't even get a chance to cash in because he got knocked out by Tyson Fury. So he goes on to say that he is glad Reigns is still champion and that McIntyre embarrassed himself. And he says that him and Roman have unfinished business and he's going to end Roman's 2-year reign as champion. So he gets interrupted by Kevin Owens, who's just been, like, on a roll as of late, and asks Theory what was wrong with his jaw. He tells him, he tries to make a pun. He says he got KO'd. And he makes reference to the fact that Austin Theory got his first name again, and he says, I can call you Austin. And a lot of losses for Austin Theory as a MIB winner. Get the briefcase away from him already. So to add to your comment, it's all Vince McMahon. I feel like this is a fallout of Vince McMahon's doing. I think that with Vince, Theory probably would have been on a roll, and he probably would have been being shoved down our throats. But with Triple H, I feel like he's trying to knock him down a few pegs and rebuild him up a little bit. So I feel like it's okay. It's just the thing is that he is the instant Money in the Bank winner. It doesn't look right for him. But again, I think Theory winning Money in the Bank, again, all Vince was a Vince call. So ever since KO became the prize fighter again, he was just on a roll. Like, he beat the tar out of Ezekiel. He goes on to say that it's been 18 months since he beat. It's been 18 months since his match with Roman, and he should have been champion. He says that he would destroy Austin if he was in Money in the Bank. And then Theory fires back by saying KO is just trying to stay relevant. And he says, you were the hand-picked future of WWE. And I guess KO is a bit clairvoyant, because he goes on to say that he bets any second now Ref is going to run into the ring. And he says, let's fight. And enough talking, let's fight. So this leads into Austin Theory versus Kevin Owens, which actually was not a bad match. It was a pretty good match. At least I thought it was. My favorite spot was when KO does the whole suck it thing, and then he follows it up with a cannonball. But that frog splash to the outside looked pretty bad. Oh, the spot that kind of made me cringe a little bit was when Austin Theory bounced KO on the back of steel steps with the on the steel steps with the back of his head. I was like, oh my god. KO wins with a pop-up power bomb, which was followed up by a stunner. So like I said, KO's just been on a roll. So we get a quick backstage segment with The Miz. Of course, he's still refusing to talk about Dexter Lumis, but the most important thing is that Tommaso Ciampa also got his name back. He's no longer just Ciampa. He is Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa got his first name back, which is good. Now Pete Dunne needs his name back, because who is Butch? Butch, from the other member from the other Team Rocket. Remember Cassidy and Butch, or as James used to call him, Bonch. If anybody remembers what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments. Owens looked like his head hit the steps hard. Yeah, it did. Oh my god, I was worried for Owens. I remember Butch. He was one of the bushwhackers back in the day. Not that Bush. Talking about from Team Rocket. Nobody remembers the other Team Rocket. No, it wasn't just Jesse and James here, people. It was Butch and Cassidy. Or and James was always mispronouncing his name, calling him Bonch. And he says, my name is Butch. So that's pretty hilarious. So this is followed up. There were only 3 members in Team Rocket. Jesse, James, and Matt. No, okay, but there was another set of Team Rocket. Look it up. It was Cassidy and Butch. Do you guys not remember that episode where they have a breeding center, but it's really trying to steal other people's Pokemon? And Jesse and James, just Google Butch and Cassidy for Team Rocket. Mandela effect on Team Rocket for me. So as Damage Control is walking to the ring, you can see in the background Nikki taking off her mask, throwing it at Doudrop, and then walking away. So it's I've noticed that as of late, you really have to pay attention in the background, because there's always stuff going on in the background now. So Damage Control, yes, that is the official name of Bayley's group, Damage Control. You stopped watching Pokemon in 2000. They are from the old Pokemon. They're from the old Pokemon. They're not new. They're old. This review is going to get turned into a whole conversation about Pokemon. So Bayley basically greets the fans with saying, hello, idiots. She starts to thank them despite the fact that the crowd is booing them. And she says that they're taking control, hence their name, Damage Control. Dakota Kai says Raquel and Aliyah can pretend to be champions for another week because, and see, they make reference that Dakota Kai was not the legal competitor, so there's gonna be another rematch next week. Gotta catch them all. Yeah, you do. And so Bianca then comes out and says that she put her pride aside and showed up, and she's challenging Bayley to a match. By the way, I do remember Butch and Cassidy from Team Rocket. I just wanted to use Butch that was in wrestling. Oh, okay, good. See, somebody remembers Butch and Cassidy from Team Rocket. He was the guy with the green hair. I think it was green or blue. Yeah, it had to have been green because James was blue. So he was the guy with the green hair. So Bayley says that it's Labor Day, so she's not working today, and that all they're doing is celebrating her beating Bianca. You're also not supposed to wear white after Labor Day, too. So Bianca holds up her title, and she says that unless it's one-on-one and unless she has the title, she's not in control of anything. And so they circle Bianca, and then Bayley orders Dakota Kai and Io Sky to stop circling Bianca. And then Bayley says she will beat Bianca because she's got nothing left to prove. And says that Bianca has a fragile little ego and she can't handle this one loss. And that if she wants the title, and if and when she wants the title, she will get it one way or another. So I think that's it. I think that's Bianca's next challenge. It's her and Bayley. Honestly, I mean, they never had their I Quit match. So I'm very curious to know who would have won that I Quit match and what would have happened. I think Bianca probably would have won, and I think Bayley would have switched brands. At least that's what I think. So, but who do you guys think would have won that I Quit match between the two of them, Bayley or Bianca? So we get a Johnny Gargano segment, and he's talking about how he's been swimming with sharks all his life. And Ace Austin. It's Impact Wrestling. Austin Theory shows up, and it's to cause Johnny talking, because all he's been doing is talking. I gotta admit, that was pretty funny. And so then Johnny Gargano tells him that next week Johnny Wrestling returns to in-ring action. Bayley would have. You really think Bayley would have suited Bianca? So are you guys excited about Johnny Wrestling making his in-ring return next week? I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm very curious to see who he's going to face. Do you guys think that he's going to face a jobber? Or you guys think he's going to face someone on the Raw roster? Who do you think he's going to face? I'm trying to think. Maybe Dominic Dijakovic, maybe Mustafa Ali, Cedric Alexander. I'm just throwing names out there. Hey, this is not Impact. I know it's not Impact. That's why I corrected myself very quickly. But let me know in the comments or in the live chat, who do you think Johnny Gargano is going to debut against? So we got Rey Mysterio versus Damian Priest. And wasn't a bad match. Really wasn't. Yes, I think he would face Ciampa. Wow, I totally forgot about that. I didn't even think of Ciampa because he's currently in that storyline with The Miz. But wow, I honestly would not mind seeing Gargano versus Ciampa on Raw. So while this match is going on, Rhea and Dom, the rest of the Judgment Day come out and they distract Rey. Of course, Rey tries to do the 619 to Damian Priest, but his own son stops him by jumping on the apron. And due to this distraction, Damian Priest is victorious. We also find out that Dom is going to face Edge next week. I don't know about you guys, but I think Dominic's going to be a dead man walking. I think Dominic's biting off more than he can chew. So then we get a quick backstage segment with Braun Strowman. He says the monster of all monsters is back and no one is safe. And he's basically going to SmackDown. So I think he's probably, if Roman Reigns shows up, I think he's going to go after the bloodline. Or, actually, if you want to rekindle his feud with Sami Zayn, I think that if he tries to go after the bloodline, I think Sami Zayn might try to, save the bloodline. So he's going to take the hit for the bloodline. That's what I think is going to happen. We also find out Matt Riddle wants another match against Seth. So I feel like if that happens, it's going to happen at Extreme Rules. Dom will get help from Valerie and Priest next week. Oh, definitely. So the main event ends up being the United States Championship match in the side of Steel Cage, The Miz versus Bobby Lashley. And I have to say, I really like the fact that they're trying to make the mid-card titles feel important. Because we all know under the old regime, they were not important at all. So obviously before the start of the match, The Miz and Tommaso Ciampa attack Bobby Lashley. The Miz hits Lashley with the title from behind. They take him out of the cage and send him crashing into the steel cage, and then he gets hit with steel steps. They're trying to soften him up. But once the match officially starts, the one spot I was that one-arm suplex to The Miz. And you see The Miz trying to escape. Bobby Lashley's pulling on him. Ciampa's pulling on him. So they're basically playing tug of war with The Miz. And Ciampa, even though he was on the outside, he still tried his best to help Miz. He hit the steel cage with the chair to try to job Bobby Lashley as he was climbing that thing. And so like as Lashley's trying to get out, like Ciampa hits him with the steel door, and then Lashley throws it right back, and then like Miz is just hitting Lashley with that cage door. Good match, but where are they going with this Miz and Loomis storyline? I have no idea. So as Miz is trying to come out of the cage, and he's like halfway, Dexter Loomis pops out from under the ring, and the Miz climbs back inside. This allows Bobby Lashley to spear the Miz, and Bobby Lashley successfully retains his United States title. At the end, Dexter Loomis climbs inside the cage, and Bobby Lashley locks the Miz inside of the cage with Dexter Loomis, and Loomis chokes out the Miz. So I have no idea what they're gonna go with this whole Dexter Loomis, the Miz storyline. I don't know what the end goal to this is, but I think they're trying to slowly introduce Dexter Loomis to the main roster. I mean, like, I know there's a lot of people that didn't watch him on NXT, so probably people still don't know who he is and what his character and gimmick is all about. So, but that being said, that concludes this review. Tonight's show wasn't too terrible, but it wasn't great either. I mean, compared to what we used to get, yeah, this is better. So I'd give this a 5. I agree with Michael 101 591 here. 5 out of 10. Yeah, it wasn't the best, but certainly wasn't terrible. Felt like a Vince McMahon show. Yeah, did Bruce Pritchard like tie up Triple H and like just completely take over creative here? Because like this didn't feel like a Triple H show. But with that being said, you guys, thank you guys all so much for watching and for your continuous support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday after AEW Dynamite. Bye.